So, good morning, Mr. Kule.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. How you doing?
This is another opportunity. Today is another opportunity to have your say on okay, to have your say on Nigerian controversial issue on a daily basis. So, this is another prime day to do that. So, firstly, sir, the president, Mr. Tinubu, tells UN that he will seek to restore democratic order in Nigeria Republic.
Yeah, yeah. I think that has been on the pipeline for a while now. Because when we keep having juntas all around Africa taking over, the democratic space. I mean, it's as if we want to isolate ourselves. The Africa want to isolate themselves from the other, country of the universe. So to me, we need to quickly nip it on the bud. Nip these Gentiles coming in, taking over democratic space. We need to nip them on the bud. And it's better, it's earlier, the better we get that done. Because we cannot be setting ourselves backward. Actually, and the excuses are even the democratic government themselves, they are not so doing well. They have not so fare well for the people they govern. And it's two wrongs don't make a right, right? If you want to tackle the bad democratic system of governance in Africa, that one apart, right? And the military coming into the space, democratic space, that one too apart. So how do we now make the governance of the democratic space be accepted, be beneficial to the citizen? That is what we are looking at now. There's a gap. There's a gap between the governance and the citizens. There's a huge gap. So what we need now is to now have that democratic institution that will majority of all these leaders will have to go through that institution to learn about good governance, because so far so well I've not seen the democratic governance doing well in Africa generally, because of deprivations of the youth to enjoy the democracy. So that is what the juntas were looking at. But at the same time, two wrongs can't make a right. Junta government, military government has been out, has been an outcast government for a while. So what we look at now is, how can you make the democratic governance conducive and raw strength to the extent that the citizens will not be suffering for the democratic, duty they participated in, and after all, when they are the people that voted for all these civilians, president, we vote them in government, but when they come to the seat, they will change the narrative and they will turn the country to their own pocket. They will pocket the country, and that is what has been happening in all these countries that you see that the military are taking over. And not just that, the civilians to the democratic governance there, they need to sit up and do the needful, because you're there to help the humanity, you're there to help to upgrade the lifestyle of the masses that have been suffering for a while. So those are the lacuna the military capitalize on, and for them to take power. But as I'm still telling you, the old world has gone beyond military coup. So in order for us not to be an outcast in Africa, we don't need to embrace such a military coup or junta regime in our land.
So at first, the president wants to use a war to restore democracy back in Nigeria Republic. But as at now, we don't really know how he wants to restore the democratic order
Democratic
in
government.
Nigeria.
Yeah,
So we don't know if he is going to dialogue with them or to change their mindset that they are going to do the needful now. Because the reason for the military junta at first was for that the citizen are not getting value for their basic needs.
I think there are two cards that was put on the table, right? That's the diplomatic card and the first card. Now they wanted to go on forceful attack on Niger juntas, but prominent people came in to be that you don't just use your spare jammers like that on the juntas. Let's dialogue, let's go diplomatic with them. And they went diplomatic. I don't think it's even fruitful. There's no fruitfulness in that diplomatic engagement they had. So what they need now is either force that will now set as a deterrent to other people. You know, when they saw the Bazoum crisis in Niger, the other country quickly follow suit. They abandoned their own. But I don't think there's been a deterrent. Other countries, all these African countries, will not embark on such awkward, such a barbaric, military, coup. So what we need now is a scapegoat. If Niger can be make a scapegoat, other will sit tight. I'm sure other will sit tight because you don't turn Nigeria to, the zombie, what's it called? State. We don't turn Africa to zombie continent. So the whole world are embracing democracy. Why will Africa be left out? Why will Africa be left out? That is the question, big questions I'm asking now. Why will Africa be left out of democracy? That you want to go back to the vomit, which was the military era. It's not acceptable. It's not.
All right, sir. So thank you for that. The federal government has said that the Independence Day anniversary will be on a low key. Do you think they are also looking the aspect of the citizen suffering currently?
Sure.
So we don't want any big ceremony for just the October 1st. So what's your take on this, sir?
Yeah, I think it is to take an insensitive man that will say they want to celebrate the October 1st on a joyous mood or on a elaborate mood, because the country is not smiling, the economy is not smiling, and we are in the train of renewal. We are on the train of rebirth, hope, and we are in the train of restructuring of the good governance we have, because we've been having bad governance before. Now we want to restructure the good governance. We want to restructure ourselves into good governance now, which everything we have to be transparent, which Nigeria will no more be working for the few, and the others will be suffering, right? So what as it is now is a celebration of it's a celebration of what's it called? Celebration of happiness. I would say celebration of happiness, because we still add up more years to our years of independence. But to cut it short, is still the celebration of the renewal. If we are going to celebrate anything, we must be looking towards the renewal, right? Okay, let's celebrate our adventure into renewal, that is where we now make every Nigeria believe that there's really hope ahead, and there's really hope at the end of the tunnel. So to me, as it is now, it doesn't want elaborate celebration because the Nigeria government, I mean the Nigeria system is at, I mean at the lowest hem now as we're talking. So we need to just make it a, I mean, solemn celebration because the country, I'm telling you, is not a good form as economically. It's not a good form. So there's no need to celebrate, as the president said.
All right, sir. So this is coming from Chidoka. She said, Buhari ruined the security architecture through nepotism.
Now, if you say nepotism, it was really glaring that there was nepotism in under Buhari government, right? And what can say, it was so soft in tackling all these security issues because until the whole thing now overwhelmed the country. Because when this guy started, when the herdsmen, especially when they started, the whole country was crying out loud. These are foreign people, we don't even know the identity, that are speaking to the Nigerian territory. How come? How did they manage? The borders are there. You made our border porous. As a commander-in-chief, look at the Tinubu that is in power now. He ordered all the 7 borders that links to where all this Boko Haram, all these terrorists, all these S-men always come from. He ordered those borders to be closed. And that is that is who you can really say that is in charge. But he wasn't really in charge under that government. So Tinubu was fully in charge as it is now. That is why you can see, you can hardly see those immigrant terrorists coming in because the border, the channel has been closed. And we ought to have done that like some years, 6 years of Buhari back, because if they don't have access to enter the country, they will retreat. But that did not happen. So to me now, there's still a serious job to be done, even for the current government. There's still a serious, with all this insecurity. Because a country that is insecure, the investors will not be able to come in. The investors will not be able to invest. So, it's not going to be conducive for any investors to come in. So we need the country to be secure. We need the country to be stabilized, right? And for the progress of all of us, for the progress of every one of us, and for the progress ahead of the unborn generations.
All right, sir. So I believe the federal government will be working towards that. So lastly, sir, the NLC ultimatum ends today.
Yeah.
And federal government allays in fears.
You see, the NLC, Labour Congress, I don't want to be gambling into their issues because they are irrelevant to me. I don't count Labour Congress, and not even when they were real Labour then, I know the real Labour, they will face, the agitations for the workers, workers' remunerations, better remunerations, better improvement of service. But this Labour me I'm seeing now is a political Labour. It's political Labour, and there has been, there's been what? There has been in alliance with Labour Party. All what they are doing now is for them to be in solidarity with Labour Party, so that people will look at it. They are in solidarity with the Labour Party under Obi. So to me, the Labour we are seeing now, I don't take them as Labour at all. This is not the Labour I grew up to know. So these are political ethnicity Labour. So what are we saying? When you have a Ajero that is really not stable on his, So I don't really believe in Labour any longer. I don't believe in them. I have to tell you. Even asking me about Labour, I always feel offended when anybody asks me my view about Labour, because I know how Labour is now. Labour is dead or alive. It's just all partisan Labour we have now.
All right, sir. So thank you, sir. So that's all I have for you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
And it's a pleasure having you,
It's a
sir.
pleasure.
So, so that's all I have for you today on the people's view on what's going on in Nigeria. As you can see, Mr. Kunle downplayed the NLC and he said they are mostly part of the Party, trying to agitate for Labour Party to get their justice from the Supreme Court. So we want the federal government to do the needful. As usual, the citizens are passing through a lot. So it's a welcome idea for them to say the Independent Day will not be lavish and it will be on a low key. So if you are just joining our station, please subscribe to our channel, like and share the video, and also click on the bell button so as to get a more notification anytime we upload our video. Thank you again and see you tomorrow.